You've just received an email. It's a promotion. It's the acceptance letter. It's the email praising your project as a massive success. A wave of relief washes over you, but it's quickly followed by something else. A cold, tightening feeling in your stomach. A voice that whispers, "They made a mistake. I just got lucky. Any minute now, they're going to find out I don't belong here. They're going to realize I'm a fraud." If this internal monologue sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is Imposter Syndrome. It's a persistent internal pattern of doubt that convinces you your accomplishments are not the result of your skill, your intelligence, or your hard work. Instead, you believe you've simply fooled everyone. You are an imposter in your own life, perpetually waiting to be exposed. And this isn't some rare psychological quirk. It is an epidemic of silent self-doubt. Decades of research, starting with the pioneering work of Dr. Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, suggest that 70 to 90% of the population has experienced these feelings at some point. It's particularly rampant among high achievers. Doctors, lawyers, artists, entrepreneurs, PhDs, the very people who look the most successful from the outside are often the ones suffering the most on the inside. This video is not just a definition. We are going to deconstruct why you feel this way. We will go into the deep psychological architecture of this feeling, exploring the childhood roots, the personality traits, and the cultural pressures that build this invisible prison. And then, we are going to build a comprehensive, actionable toolkit to help you dismantle it. We will explore the types, the roots, and finally, the escape routes.
To fight an enemy, you must know its face. Imposter syndrome isn't a monolith. It wears different masks. Dr. Valerie Young, a leading expert on the subject and author of The Secret Thoughts of Successful Women, spent decades researching this phenomenon. She identified 5 primary types of imposters. As I go through these, ask yourself, which one resonates with you? First, there is the perfectionist. The perfectionist's world is binary. It is 100% or 0%, success or failure. There is no in-between. Their primary concern is how something is done. They set impossibly high standards for themselves, and then when they, inevitably, fall short on one tiny detail, they experience profound failure and shame. A perfectionist will get a 99% on an exam and obsess over the 1% they got wrong. They'll deliver a project that receives a standing ovation, but they'll lie awake at night fixated on the one slide that had a typo. In their mind, any flaw, any mistake, any need to revise their work is not a normal part of the process. It is definitive proof of their fraudulence. They believe a true expert would have gotten it perfect the very first time. Second, there is the superwoman or superman. This is the imposter who lives in constant fear of being seen as lazy or unproductive. They are convinced they are faking it among real colleagues, so they push themselves to work harder, longer, and take on more responsibility than anyone else. They are the first in the office and the last to leave. They say yes to every project, even when they're already drowning. They believe they must succeed in every role of their life, as a worker, a parent, a friend, a partner, simultaneously and flawlessly. But this frantic activity isn't driven by ambition, it's driven by anxiety. They are using the volume of their work as a shield, hoping that if they just do enough, no one will notice they don't actually know what they're doing. The result isn't success, it's chronic, debilitating burnout. Third, we have the natural genius. The natural genius believes that true competence means everything comes easily and naturally. Their self-worth is built on the ease and speed with which they can accomplish tasks. This is often the person who was the smart kid in school, who coasted through academics without much effort. But in the real world, when they're faced with a complex challenge that requires struggle, persistence, and learning from failure, their identity shatters. If they have to work hard at something, they feel deep, private shame. They think, if this is so hard for me, I must not be a real genius after all. They avoid challenges where they're not guaranteed an easy win, robbing themselves of the very growth they need. Fourth, there is the soloist, or the rugged individualist. This believes that asking for help is the ultimate admission of failure. They have a core belief that they must accomplish everything completely on their own. To them, needing assistance, whether it's asking a colleague for clarification or hiring a consultant, is a sign of weakness. It's proof that they are not a true expert. They will spin their wheels for days on a problem that could be solved in minutes with a simple question. If they do succeed, but they had help, they discount the entire achievement. In their mind, the success isn't theirs unless they carried it from start to finish alone. This isolation is a heavy burden to carry. And fifth, there is the expert. This is the knowledge hoarder. The expert lives in profound fear of being exposed as unknowledgeable or inexperienced. They measure their competence by how much they know or can do. They're the ones who are never satisfied. They get a degree, but they feel they need a master's. They get a master's, but they feel they need a PhD. They're constantly seeking one more certification, one more training course, reading one more book before they start. They will not apply for a job unless they meet 110% of the qualifications. They are terrified of being asked a question they can't answer. Their quest for more knowledge isn't driven by curiosity. It's driven by a fear of being found out. They believe they still don't know enough, and they never will. The perfectionist, the superman, the genius, the soloist, the expert. Many of us are a blend of these types, shifting from one to another depending on the situation. But identifying your primary type is the first step in dismantling it. Because this feeling, this syndrome, doesn't appear from nowhere. It is not an accident. It's often planted decades earlier in the soil of our childhood.
Let's dig into the roots. Where does this come from? Root number 1, the family blueprint. Our earliest experiences of success and failure create a blueprint for our self-worth. For many with imposter syndrome, that blueprint was drafted in a few specific ways. First, there's the family that assigns labels. Maybe you were the smart one. It sounds like a compliment, but it's a heavy box. When your identity becomes smart, any struggle, any C+ on a report card, any confusion isn't just a learning process, it's an existential threat. You learn to fear any challenge that might revoke your smart card. This builds the foundation for the natural genius. Conversely, maybe you were the sensitive one, or you had a sibling who was the smart one. You may spend the rest of your life trying to prove you are also smart, that you are worthy, that you belong in the room. Another common root is the high expectation home. Growing up with highly critical or high-achieving parents can tie your sense of love and approval directly to your achievements. You internalized a devastating message. You are only as good as your last success. You get an A, you get affection. You get a B, you get disappointment, or even worse, helpful criticism about why it wasn't an A. You learn that love is conditional. As an adult, every project, every deadline becomes a high-stakes performance, a desperate bid to earn your worthiness all over again. Root number 2, the personality connection. Some of us are simply more neurologically wired for this. Psychologists often use the Big Five model to describe personality. One of those 5 traits is neuroticism. This isn't an insult. Neuroticism is simply the personality trait that governs your tendency to experience negative emotions. People high in neuroticism are more prone to anxiety, self-doubt, worry, and rumination. Their brains are more sensitive to threats, and being exposed as a fraud feels like a major social threat. This trait often pairs lethally with perfectionism. We must be clear, perfectionism is not a pursuit of excellence. Perfectionism is a defense mechanism. It is not about being perfect. It is about avoiding the intense, unbearable shame of being imperfect. The perfectionist believes, if I can just be perfect, I can avoid judgment, avoid blame, and avoid failure. It's an ironclad suit of armor, but it's so heavy that it prevents you from moving, from taking risks, and from ever feeling satisfied. And root number 3, the systemic pressure cooker. This is critical. Imposter syndrome is not just in your head. It is often a perfectly rational response to an external environment. If you are a minority in your field, based on your gender, race, background, sexual orientation, disability, or socioeconomic status, you face objective, external pressures that others do not. You might be the only woman in the boardroom, the only person of color on the engineering team, the first person in your family to go to college. In these situations, you are not just representing yourself. You feel the crushing weight of representing your entire group. A mistake doesn't just feel like your mistake. It feels like you're confirming a negative stereotype. This is the pressure of tokenism. You feel like you were let in to fill a quota, and you must now work 10 times harder to prove you deserve your spot. This isn't paranoia. It's a response to a system that constantly, subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, questions your right to be there. And root number 4, the Dunning-Kruger paradox in reverse. You've probably heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect, the cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. But there is a powerful and less discussed reverse. High-skilled, highly competent individuals often underestimate their own competence. Why? Because they mistakenly assume that tasks they find easy are also easy for everyone else. They have no accurate benchmark for what normal performance looks like. They'll complete a complex analysis and think, well, anyone could have done that. It wasn't that hard. They project their own internal world of skill and knowledge onto others, and in doing so, they completely devalue their own unique expertise. If I can do it, it must not be that hard. This thought is one of the pillars of imposter syndrome. We are about to move into the hidden costs of this syndrome, how it actively sabotages your life. But if you're finding this deep dive into psychology valuable, if you're feeling understood right now, consider subscribing to the channel. We post content like this every week designed to help you understand your mind and live a better life. Hit the subscribe button and let's continue.
So, you see, this is not a simple lack of confidence. It's a complex web of childhood programming, personality traits, systemic pressures, and cognitive biases. And this web is not harmless. It's not a quirk. It is a silent saboteur that is actively costing you your career, your peace, and your joy. Let's talk about the hidden costs. How is imposter syndrome actively sabotaging you right now? Cost number 1, procrastination and self-handicapping.
This sounds like a paradox, right? Perfectionists and high achievers are the last people who would procrastinate. Wrong. The fear of failure becomes so overwhelming that you engage in what psychologists call self-handicapping. It works like this. You have a huge, important project. You're terrified you'll fail and be exposed, so you procrastinate. You wait until the last possible minute. You stay up all night. You don't prepare fully. Now, one of two things happens. One, you fail or do poorly. But now you have an excuse. You tell yourself, I only failed because I didn't have enough time. I failed because I didn't try, not because I'm incompetent. You have protected your fragile identity. Two, you pull it off. You succeed. But now you attribute your success to a heroic last-minute sprint. You don't internalize it as skill. You see it as a fluke, a mad dash. This reinforces the imposter syndrome, proving to you that you're a fraud who just gets lucky under pressure. You have robbed yourself of the learning and the satisfaction. Cost number 2, the burnout, bore-out cycle. Imposter syndrome traps you in a brutal cycle. On one hand, you have the superwoman, superman type. They overwork themselves, piling on projects and responsibilities to prove their worth. They are running on pure adrenaline and anxiety, and they inevitably hit a wall. This is burnout. But there's an opposite cost, which is just as damaging: bore-out. This is the person so afraid of failing at the next level, so terrified of being found out that they stay in their comfort zone. They never ask for the promotion. They never volunteer for the stretch assignment. They never start the business. They are so capable, but they are paralyzed by what if. They choose to be bored and underutilized rather than risk being exposed as an imposter. Their career stagnates, and they live in a state of quiet regret, watching others, who are often less skilled, pass them by. And the most tragic cost of all, the inability to internalize success. This is the absolute core of the syndrome. When you accomplish something, you should feel pride. Your brain should release dopamine tied to achievement, giving you a sense of satisfaction and building your confidence. But the imposter's brain works differently. When they succeed, they don't feel joy. They feel relief. Relief from not being found out this time. They immediately attribute the success to an external factor. Oh, my boss wasn't paying close attention. The questions were just easy. The team carried me. Because you never let the success land, you never own it, you get no lasting confidence from it. You get a temporary dopamine hit from relief, not from achievement. This is why you are never satisfied. This is why you are on a success treadmill. You have to get the next win and the next one just to feel that temporary relief all over again. You are running from the imposter label, but you never actually feel like a success.
Okay, we have diagnosed the problem. We have excavated the roots. We have counted the costs. Now, let's build the solution. This is not a one-step fix. This is not a rah-rah speech about believing in yourself. This is a new practice. This is a toolkit for rewiring your brain. Strategy number 1, separate feelings from facts. This is the most immediate tool you can use. It's a core principle of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Your brain is going to give you a feeling. That feeling is powerful. I feel like a fraud. Your job is to acknowledge that feeling, but not treat it as a fact. Say to yourself, I am having the feeling that I am a fraud. It is a strong feeling, But what are the facts? The fact is, I was hired for this job. The fact is, I completed the project. The fact is, my team leader gave me positive feedback. The fact is, I have a degree in this field. You must ground yourself in objective external evidence. The feeling is real, but it is not reality. Your feelings are not the boss. You are. This simple act of creating a space between your feeling and the facts is a radical act of self-possession. Strategy number 2. Create an evidence journal. Your brain is a biased filter. It is programmed to discount your successes and magnify your failures. You must actively fight this bias. Get a physical notebook or a digital file. This is your evidence journal. But here's the key. Do not just write down your wins. That's not enough. You'll just attribute them to luck. You must write down the process. Don't just write, "I finished the report." Write, "My report was successful. I accomplished this by spending 3 days researching the data, noticing a flaw in the old data and creating a new model, asking Sarah from marketing for her input on the target audience, and spending 2 hours proofreading and simplifying the language." This moves your brain's focus from "I got lucky" to "I made skilled choices." And part B of this strategy, you must learn to accept compliments. No, really. When someone praises your work, your imposter reflex is to deflect. "Oh, it was nothing. It was a team effort. I just got lucky." Stop doing this. You are training them and yourself to believe you had nothing to do with it. The new rule: bite your tongue, take a breath, and say 2 words. Thank you. That's it. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel arrogant. Do it anyway. You are retraining your brain to receive and internalize positive data. Strategy number 3. Reframe your definition of competence. Your imposter syndrome is built on a broken definition of what it means to be competent. The expert thinks competence is knowing everything. The genius thinks competence is getting it right on the first try. The soloist thinks competence is doing it all alone. The perfectionist thinks competence is being flawless. These definitions are impossible, and they're wrong. It's time for a new, healthier, and more accurate definition. Competence is not knowing everything. Competence is the willingness to learn. Competence is not being flawless. Competence is the resilience to try again after a mistake. Competence is not doing it alone. Competence is the wisdom to ask for help. When you feel like an imposter, it's often because you've encountered something you don't know. Instead of thinking, "I'm a fraud," the new thought is, "This is a learning opportunity. This is what competence actually looks like." And strategy number 4, talk about it. Break the taboo. Imposter syndrome thrives in silence. It feeds on isolation. It convinces you that you are the only one who feels this way. That is its greatest lie. You must break the silence. Find a trusted mentor, a colleague, or a friend, someone you respect, and share your feelings. Use the words, "I know this sounds crazy, but I'm really struggling with imposter syndrome right now." I can almost guarantee the response you will get. It will not be, "Oh my God, I knew it, you're a fraud." The response you will get 9 times out of 10 is, "Me too." You will hear it from your boss. You will hear it from the CEO. You will hear it from the person you admire most in your field. The moment you realize this feeling is not a personal failing, but a shared human experience, it loses its power. The isolation is broken. You are not a fraud. You are just a human being doing your best, just like everyone else.
Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are one. In fact, it's often the opposite. It's a sign that you care deeply about your work. It's a sign that you are pushing your own boundaries and stepping into new challenges. It's a sign that you are a high performer, who is self-aware. The goal is not to never feel doubt again. Doubt is a natural part of growth. The goal is to stop letting that doubt hold the microphone. The goal is to see that doubt, acknowledge it, and then turn your attention back to the facts, back to your process, and back to the work. You are not an imposter. You are a work in progress, just like every other successful person you know. You earned your place. Now it's time to own it. One of our strategies was to break the silence. Let's do that right now. In the comments below, share which of the 5 imposter types resonated with you the most. You'll be surprised how many other people feel the exact same way. Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching.